Welcome back to another edition of Music Monday from the podcast Nurture the Mind. I am your host, Cole Poots, and we have yet again another music reaction after spending about 2 weeks listening to Falling in Reverse and checking out the new album Popular Monster. We are making our way back to the character known as Ren. Once again, I feel the need to thank all of the people that have come over to the channel, that have subscribed to the channel. I made such a big jump. I got to 1,000 subscribers off of mainly doing my reactions on Ren. It's been a very fun intro listening to his music. So the first one I did was Hi Ren, then I did Sick Boy, and then I reacted to his 1 million subscribers video. And today, this is one of the recommendations that I've seen a lot in the comments is Ren with Chinchilla, and the song is called Chalk Outlines, and we're doing the live video. A lot of people said, hey, you should go check out this song, especially since you were talking about sertraline, the medication that I take, because it is mentioned in this song. So I feel like I shouldn't do a whole lot of talking in the intro. I really just want to get into it. I want to absorb it, and I want to see what my thoughts are. I want to see what the music sounds like. Every choice so far from Ren has been great, has been amazing. I think if I had to pick a favorite, I think it was probably just the intro one that I did, which was Hi Ren. I just felt like, to me, like that was the one that was the most captivating out of what I've listened to so far. But that doesn't discredit Sick Boy. Sick Boy was also a great song, just a completely different flow, you know, really going the rap and hip hop route. And 1 million subscribers was also cool to check out because you just get a deeper dive into who this man is. You know, the appreciation that he has for his fans, the appreciation that he has for the YouTube reaction community. And I can just tell that, you know, he is a great stand-up guy. So without further ado, we're going to get into the song. Like I said, it's Ren, it's Chinchilla, it's Chalk Outlines live. Let's go, guys. Uh-oh. I like the attire in this video. I like the all white. This seems like the same setting of Hi Ren. It looks like the same place almost. Oh, here we go. We got a guitar.
I'm still here in this bed that I crawled in. I hope that I'm someone else in the morning. So take this one, wash it down and you'll be fine. Walk around in a floating chalk outline. So it goes, let it be. In the gallows, balanced on my toes so I can breathe. But little by little, bit by bit, I push it back down with a new habit. If not these chalk outlines.
Surgery and a sip of serotonin.
There it is.
Don't cry, 'cause there's a pill for everything.
Jesus, look at those nails. She's got daggers.
Take this one, wash it down, and you'll be fine. The feeling goes and you don't choke out.
So it goes, let it be. In the dirt, I'm balanced on my toes so I can breathe. But little by little, bit by bit, I push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile.
Come here.
Oh my,
Come here.
oh my.
You're in the way, dude.
Trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my, erase ourselves. It's such a perfect day. Take it just in case. Take it just in case. I'm scared of being okay, 'cause all things change, all things change. It's such a perfect day, it's a beautiful shame, it's a beautiful shame. I'm scared of being okay, 'cause all things change. But little by little, bit by bit, I'll push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my,
Erase ourselves in these chalk outlines.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. That is emotional. What a rendition. So, just context-wise, it feels like mainly talking about medication. Take this pill. Everything will be just fine. But essentially, we erase ourselves, we numb ourselves, and the only thing that is left is a shell of ourselves. It's just these chalk outlines. It's similar things that I've talked about in these Ren reviews and reactions. The medical system that we currently have in America. Some people in the comments were talking about the medical system out in the UK. I had talked about my experience of getting on sertraline and how basically there was this male doctor who prescribed it to me, and we talked for only 5 minutes. And he was like, "Here, take this thing." And I was like, it's that simple. You know, I could have walked in and I could have said, "Hey, my dog died. I'm kind of sad. What do I do, doc?" And the same conversation, the same solution would have been prepared, which is, "Here, take this medication," instead of saying, "Hey, realistically, logically, it's okay to be feeling the feelings that you are having because your dog just died. That is a hard event to get through, and you're going to have to take some time to grieve." And so in our society, in our culture, it's become commonplace to just give people medication if they feel slightly out of line, slightly out of balance. And I think it points to a deeper issue, is if there is all of these people of our population in both of these countries all across the world that are struggling with anxiety, depression, whatever the issue may be, because the percentage is so high, I think that shows that we need to look a little bit more internally at ourselves as human beings, as the human species, and be like, what are we doing wrong? You know, what are we prioritizing right now that is not super helpful or beneficial towards our intrinsic happiness? And I mean, there's so many things that you could point to over just one issue, but as I've said before, I think we're focused on the wrong things. We're so consumed with social media, being on technology, taking in other people's opinions, comparing ourselves to other people. And obviously we're not meant to, you know, be on these screens for 8-9 hours a day. And a lot of people do that. I mean, my screen time isn't up there. It probably hovers around 2 to 3 hours, but even then, you know, that might be too much. I just always constantly go back to thinking about our ancestors and before all of these things were present and prevalent, and like, they didn't do that. You know, they had to focus on the present moment. And because we're so stimulated, I feel like that's the last thing that we try to do, is focus on the present moment. You know, we're either consumed with the past and all the bad things that have happened in our past, or we're so worried about the future, you know, and how those things are going to pan out. So we're focused on the wrong things as humans. But this is a very sobering song talking about medication, but probably deeper than that. You know, Ren always goes to just the human condition, just the condition of being a human. You know, we all go through certain things, you know, maybe not similar to each other, but slightly off in variability. It's a beautiful song. It's once again just so intimate, kind of like high Ren, you know, less chaotic than Sick Boy. It's intimate. And I've said this before, when you have just one instrument like a guitar and then someone is singing, it allows for the viewer or the person that's taking in the music to really try and absorb everything, to really try and grab everything. And that's exactly what happened. You know, he walks through this deserted hallway, and I think I had seen some comments from some people saying that a lot of videos were filmed, for a lot of videos for certain songs were filmed in that same location. So that would make sense of the overlap from the high Ren setting to chalk outlines. He's got on a different outfit. He's not wearing his normal sick patient outfit, and we don't see the pig mask in this video, but he's wearing all white. Chinchilla, she's wearing all white. And I always love it too when you have a male and a female to complement each other with their voices, you know, because I think obviously females can just hit different notes, different octaves. Like Ren's got a good voice, but she comes in and she just compliments him. And the really cool thing about her, you know, is complimenting her nails as they look like daggers. I mean, Jesus Christ, you would not want to get stabbed by those. She could freaking take your eyeball out. But Ren provides emotion and passion in the song, but so does she, and arguably even more. I feel like she ramped it up. I think she elevated this song, because it was cool to see in the video, like in her parts, she turns to Ren and they're facing each other, and then at one point, you know, she gets on her knees and you can just feel all of this emotion just pouring out of her. Right? Like, it's just like this waterfall of emotions. So I'm assuming she's probably been on sertraline too. What was her lyric exactly? It was like sertraline and then like a sip of serotonin or something. You know, if you're lacking serotonin, if you're lacking any of those feel-good chemicals in your brain, obviously you're going to feel out of whack, you're going to feel out of balance. You know, when we dip in that area, that's not good for our human brains. As I said, you know, I started taking sertraline back in 2019 after trying to hold off and not take it, but things were so bad that I was kind of forced to get on the medicine, and I do think it helped in a variety of ways. I started out at such a low dose of 25 milligrams, and then eventually I had to go up to 50, and now I'm at 100. And it is one of those things where it's like, you know, the plan with taking any type of medication is that you should look at it like, hey, I'm not trying to be on this long term, I'm trying to be on this short term. There's so many other things that I could do, like I could go to therapy, I could try meditation. I could try working out. Like medication is not a one solve fix all problem. And in all honesty, it's a Band-Aid. And who knows at this point if it is even really effective, because I have heard that like a lot of studies show that it's basically just a placebo. The fact that you're taking it and you think that it's supposed to help you get better, it's actually your thought process, it's actually your mindset that is actually making you get better. And that's tricky, because then it could be that like you've done pretty well, you know, you've excelled in life, you've gotten yourself out of that dark place when you started taking the medication, and so you feel like you're in a good place where you can get off of the medication. And then this is certainly my fear, is like the day that I decide to get off of it, wean off of it, same thing with that placebo. You've been conditioned to think that this thing has always been helping you, so then when you get off of it, you start to question that, and then you start to self-sabotage, and then you get yourself in a rut, or you get stuck. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the medicine anymore. And I know sertraline is low grade compared to other medicines that are out there. I have heard with other medicines that are much higher grade, higher potence, higher effects, is that like they're pretty addictive to the body, meaning that like once you've been taking them for a while, when you get off of them, you can expect to have withdrawal symptoms. That's why it's so smart and important that no matter what medication that you're taking, you consult with your doctor and you come up with a game plan like, hey, how can I get off of this in a healthy, holistic way? Like, I plan on getting off of sertraline, but I would never cut it straight off. I would wean myself off from 100 milligrams down to like 75 or whatever, and then eventually 50, 25, and then, you know, ultimately 0. But yeah, you know, there's always good content to like speak about when you're listening to a Ren song. I feel like there's a lot of substance. I feel like there's a lot of value that you can obtain by listening to his music. Speaking to the human condition, that's relatable to everybody, because we have all experienced the human condition. As I've said before, we're kind of just on the spectrum throughout life where there are a bunch of moments where you feel like you're up and you're invincible and nobody can touch you, but then there's this equal balance of being in the dark and not being able to see the light and struggling and having frustration. And this is just kind of like this dichotomy that we live in. And as Ren had talked about in High Ren, is like you have to accept and learn that this life is a balance. It's a dance. It's continually going back and forth, like a pendulum, you know, it's swinging. And once you learn to accept that and embrace it, that's where life becomes, not to say that it becomes easy, but it becomes more manageable. And anytime that you're struggling or going through those dark moments, you then start to understand, well, this won't last forever. This is going to pass at some point, and then eventually I'm going to be back towards the light. And I think when you live that way, almost just being light with your energy, being lighthearted, I do think to some degree it is a little bit easier to embrace life. I wouldn't say life gets easy. It never is easy. But as Ren alluded to, as I talked about in that reaction, when you really start to accept things and you stop trying to control every little aspect of your life, at least that was my case, struggling with OCD, I just felt like I could maneuver through life a lot better. I took a lot of the pressure off of myself. I wasn't in my head so much. I was more confident in who I was. And a lot of that is really just time, right? Like we have to allot ourselves time as we get older. Like when I was younger and going through my issues in my early 20s, I'm brand new to life. I'm having all of these experiences for the first time. When you're younger, you just don't have enough experience. You haven't been around people enough. You haven't been able to absorb people's patterns, certain behaviors. And that's why when I was younger, I think I got fucked over a lot more by people because I was naive, right? Like I wanted to just trust people. I wanted to believe this false notion that everybody has this inherent good in them. And as you get older, you start to realize that's not necessarily the case. Everybody has the potential or the capacity to choose good or evil. That doesn't mean that they're always going to choose good. There are some evil people out there. There are some people out there that maybe they're not evil, but they can't break the bad patterns that they're in. And life is the most beautiful teacher. I think with age, obviously, comes a lot of wisdom, comes a lot of understanding, comes a lot of perspective, and then I think it's your duty as you get older and you learn these things to try and teach it to other people as long as they're receptive. And so I think Ren is a great teacher. I think he represents a lot of beauty throughout his music. I think his story is amazing and inspiring. And like he said in the 1 million subscribers video, he's basically turned this thing in his life that once consumed him and was a great deal and a great source of darkness. He has now kind of flipped that thing on its head. It's become the story that he's telling, that he's slowly overcoming. And that's what you want to hear, right? Like, you don't want to hear the person that is the constant perpetual victim and they play the victim mentality and they're like, oh my God, life screws me over left and right. Like, no, dude, you hate being around people like that, right? Like, if you're ever around somebody like that and they're talking to you and it's always woe is me and it's a pity party, every time you see them, you might talk to them for a little bit, but as soon as they leave, you're like, oh my God, fuck that guy, fuck that girl. It's like now all of a sudden you've absorbed all of this negative energy and weight, and it's like you don't even want to talk to that person anymore. So, that sort of vibe, that sort of self-fulfilling prophecy is not needed. Those are not the people that you want to be around. It's good to hear from people that actually use the darkness and the sadness and the tough stuff, and they embraced it as hard as it was, and they eventually got over it. It's the overcoming. It's the story of the hero. That is why we are, as humans, intrinsically drawn to movies like that, books like that, music like that. We want to see how you overcame that thing, right? Like, it didn't consume you. Maybe it consumed you for a little bit, but eventually you got over that arc. You jumped over all of those hurdles. And I think Ren is an inspiration, and he is telling his story in such a beautiful way. And I can't wait to listen to more of his music. Every freaking choice has been so good. So anyways, guys, that's my first initial reaction and review of Chalk Outlines with Ren and Chinchilla. Feel free to put some comments in the comment section below if there's anything that I missed, any information, that I browsed over. First reactions, first reviews are really hard because you're here, you're in the moment, you're just whatever is coming to mind, essentially. So there's obviously going to be a lot of things that you miss. You're never going to get it 100% on the head. So, yes, we will be exploring Ren, obviously, more often in the future as we depart from this video. As I always mention, guys, 4 things that you can do over here that really help out the channel. You can either subscribe to the channel, you can like the video, you can comment in the comment section below, and then you can share this message, especially if you got value from this, if you thought it was entertaining, if you enjoyed your experience. Please go tell somebody else, share it on social media. I don't really care. Just get the word of mouth out there to other people so I can continue to grow this channel and provide you guys, good content, good thoughts, good videos. And then also, as a First Form Legionnaire supplement company, I'm the Legionnaire for them, and I really enjoy their products. I take a lot of their products. They have really helped me out in my fitness journey. As you guys know, this isn't the only thing that I do over here on YouTube and the podcasting. My real full-time job is being a personal trainer, and I always just talk about the tenets and the pillars of the things that you need to do in your life to make yourself a healthy person. It doesn't always just come down to working out really hard, supplementation, water intake, diet, being active outside, getting outdoors, good for your mental health, taking in good information, good podcasts, reading books that are helping you learn, your relationships, the people that surround yourself with. Like, there are so many things that you could go into, but supplementation is obviously a part of that. As a Legionnaire, you can click on my general website link, and if you go buy one of their products, I get commission for that. It's not the reason that I bring it up. I am just passionate about health, wellness, mental health, like everything in the umbrella and category. So if you guys are interested in any of those products, go to those links and get yourself something. Might as well just try it, see if it helps, see if it fixes an issue that you're having. Like I said, the product list is extensive, so you don't have to take the things that I take. You can choose whatever you want to take, but bring those things up. It's an option for you guys. Check it out if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for coming over here and hanging out. It's been fun as always, and I will see you guys on the next reaction, the next review. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a blessed week. I love you guys.